Lecture. You will now read a short passage and listen to a lecture on the same topic. You will then be asked a question about them. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak.
In this question, you will read a short passage, listen to a talk, and answer a question about them. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare a response and 60 seconds to record the response. Read a passage about relict behaviors from a biology textbook. You will have 50 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now.
Relict behavior. In general, animals act in ways that help them to survive within their specific habitats. However, sometimes one animal species may display a behavior that no longer serves a clear purpose. The original purpose for the behavior may have disappeared long ago, even thousands of years before. These behaviors, known as relic behavior, were useful to the animal when the species' habitat was different, but now, because of change conditions, the behavior no longer serves its original purpose. Left over from an earlier time, the behavior remains as a relic or remnant long after the environmental circumstance that influenced its evolution has finished.
Now listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
Okay, so a good example of this, found right here in North America, is something an animal called the American pronghorn does. Pronghorns, as you may know, are a kind of deer-like animal. They live out on the open, grassy plains, somewhat in the middle of North America. And they are super fast. Pronghorns are, in fact, noted for being the fastest animal in the Western Hemisphere. Once a pronghorn starts running, zoom, none of its present-day predators, like the bobcat or coyote, can even hope to catch up with it. It's off in a flash. Okay, so why then do pronghorns run so fast? That's the question. Well, it turns out that quite a long time ago, I'm talking tens of thousands of years, things on the grassy plains used to be very different for the pronghorns. Because back then, lions used to live on the plains, chasing and preying upon the pronghorns. And lions, of course, are a very swift-moving mammal, much faster than the bobcat or coyote or other predators that you find on the plains today. But now, however, lions are all extinct in North America. They're no longer a predator of the pronghorn. Tens of thousands of years ago, though, the lions were there, chasing the pronghorns. So, back then, the pronghorn's speed was critical to its survival.
Using the example of the pronghorn and lion, explain the concept of a relict behavior. Begin to prepare your response after the beep.
A relic behavior is a behavior that an animal continues to show even though the original conditions that caused the behavior no longer exist. Using the pronghorn and the lion example, in the past, tens of thousands of years ago, North American pronghorns were hunted by lions, which were very fast predators. Because of this, pronghorns evolved extremely high running speeds to escape them. However, those lions later went extinct in North America, and today the pronghorns current predators like coyotes and bobcats are much slower and cannot catch a pronghorn at all. Despite this, pronghorns still run incredibly fast. This unusually high speed is therefore like relic behavior, a behavior that involves to deal with an ancient predator that no longer exists, but the behavior persists even after the original treat is gone.
In this question, you will listen to part of a lecture and answer a question about it. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare a response and 60 seconds to record the response. Listen to part of a lecture in a business class.
People who are likely to buy a company's product are called target customers. And these target customers influence a company's marketing strategy. In order to develop a marketing strategy, a company will look at certain characteristics of the target customers to decide when and where to advertise, so that they'll reach the target customers most effectively. I'd like to talk to you today about two characteristics of target customers that can influence marketing strategy, specifically age and geographic location of the target customers. Say a company makes toy cars. Who are its target customers? Kids, right? So if the company wants to make sure its television advertising reaches its target customers, it'd want to advertise during times when kids are actually watching television, like during children's television shows. That way, it can make sure that kids see the advertisements. And that way, the company would get people in that age group to go buy toy cars or to ask their parents to buy them at least. Now, another important characteristic to consider is geographic location, places where the company's target customers live. Think about a company that makes boats. Its target customers are people who own homes near oceans or lakes, places where they can use boats. After all, people who don't live near water don't have much use for boats. So by placing advertisements on signs along the road or on television in cities and towns that are near oceans or lakes, the company would be more likely to reach the target customers for its boats and sell more of them as a result.
Using points and examples from the lecture, explain how the characteristics of target customers influence marketing strategy for products. Begin to prepare your response after the beep.
The lecture explained that understanding the characteristic of target customer is essential because the characteristic determine when and where a company should advertise its product. The professor highlighted two main characters is age and geographic location. First, age influences the timing and placement of advertisement. For example, a company that sells toys cars target children, since kids watch a TV at certain times, like during children programs. The company should advertise during the show. This helps ensure that the intended audience actually sees the ads. Secondly, geographic location also shape marketing strategy. The professor uses the example of boat company. People who live near ocean or lakes are more likely to buy boats, while people far from water are not. So the company should place ads in towns and cities near large bodies of water. By advertising only where potential customers live, the company increases its chance of selling the product. Overall, the lecture shows that knowing the customer are and where they live helps companies advertise more efficiently and effectively.